This Memorial Day, we honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. Tonight, people all across the country and here in St. Louis now remembering our heroes and the legacy they leave behind. Just hours ago, President Trump took part in the annual Memorial Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, where he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The president took part in a moment of silence and gave a salute.
These warriors, and that's what they are, as great warriors, picked up their mantle of duty and service, knowing that to live for others meant always that they might die for others. They knew that. They asked nothing for it. They gave everything, and we owe them everything and much, much more.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer and Congressman Wesley Bell attended a Memorial Day ceremony at the Soldiers Memorial downtown. And that's where our political editor, Mark Maxwell, met some of the Gold Star families who lost loved ones in the armed services.
Hundreds of Americans spent their Monday morning here in downtown St. Louis under the pillars of the Soldiers Memorial to pay respect to the Gold Star families. And like every year, dozens of local dignitaries and elected officials lined the front row as so many families came for this somber tribute. We heard taps, wreaths, and a laying of yellow roses, but one Gold Star father, a Navy man who buried his son after an Air Force plane crashed in Afghanistan, stood out from the crowd. He told us days like this can be difficult, but he still chooses to remember and memorialize the happier sides of his son's personality.
He was just a fabulous guy, and as the general mentioned, he had a great personality. He was always giving. You know, that was his idea, was the gift of service. We know that, in my opinion, you know, in the military, it's like the mayor said, you know, it's civil service, it's service to others. And Brandon was like that. Well, it's unfortunate that it's always somber, but you think about, you know, guys like this, you know, they bring joy to remember, because we hate having somber days. You know, the funeral was once, so.
Another gentleman, a Vietnam veteran from the Army, comes here every year to gather with fellow Americans and members of the VFW and remembers his fellow soldiers who never made that last trip home.
I was very lucky, and one of my 3 of our guys got a rocket right in the tent with them, and well, they were done. I thought that it would be forgotten, but it isn't. I mean, it's amazing. And the Soldier Memorial, can't say enough about what they do here. They really do a fine job.
The Missouri History Museum also operates a rotating exhibit inside, and this Memorial Day marks the final chapter of the Ghost Army exhibit inside. Soon, in the middle of June, on Juneteenth, opens a new exhibit honoring the courage and sacrifice of the Tuskegee Airmen. In St. Louis, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Very fitting tribute. Thank you, Mark. Another Memorial Day ceremony at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery. Today, veterans sharing their personal stories and remembering their fellow service members who lost their lives in the wars.